Hello, I'm Emma Green, the tennis elbow queen, and I got asked a really great question over the last couple of days that made me think really deeply. So I wanted to share it with you. So I was asked what makes my program or what makes what I do with tennis elbow sufferers so different from everything else. And it's kind of nice answering this question because it makes me think about it. It's like, well, what is different? What do I do that is different? So the biggest difference is, so I've been working predominantly with tennis elbow sufferers for the last 15 years, and it's allowed me to dive really deeply into this one particular problem, this one particular pathology, this one particular issue. Now, because of that, I've been able to see patterns in my patients. And what I started to realize was 3 months is a really important timestamp within tennis elbow. Because all the people that were getting to me before they'd had pain for 3 months were really easy and simple to help and resolve and get back better really, really quickly. And those that got to me after they'd had pain for 3 months, it was more complex. And I started to think, well, okay, what's going on? What's making it more complicated? And I realized that all the people that I was seeing who had had pain for 3 months or longer had a nerve component as well. So I was answering this question, in the last couple of days, and the person said, well, what's a nerve component? A nerve component is basically, there's an issue with a nerve as well as the tendon that causes tennis elbow. So it's not just one issue. There's a couple of things going on by the time you've had this for 3 months or longer. So then I started to think to myself, well, why 3 months? What's the significance of 3 months? So I, again, took a deep dive into the medical research. And what we know about chronic pain is that 3 months is quite an important time marker in chronic pain because that it starts to change the way the body is affected by it. So, for example, when you've suffered with pain for longer than 3 months, you get biochemical changes in the brain. You get anatomical changes in the brain. Chronic pain changes your brain. And so I started to realize that, if I'm just focusing on the elbow, I am doing these patients a massive disservice, because if we don't reverse the changes in the brain that the chronic pain has created, they're not going to get better, or they're not going to get as better as they could get. I didn't really phrase that very well, but you get what I'm trying to say. So we have to reverse the chronic pain changes in the brain. We have to reverse that abnormal biochemistry. We have to reverse that abnormal anatomy, and you can do that. You can reverse those chronic pain changes. So I started adding in elements that focus on chronic pain. And this is why what I do with tennis elbow patients is so different, because there'll be things in my program that you may have tried before, you may have seen other people tell you to do on other YouTube videos, or, it's like, don't ever go for those ones that are like 5-minute fix for tennis elbow. No. But you will have seen some of these things before. So some of the stuff in my program will be familiar. Some of it will not be familiar. Some of it, nobody will ever have told you to do. Some of it, you'll be like, is she serious? Because this seems so way out there. And the stuff that seems way out there, that's all working on the nervous system. It's all working on the brain. It's all working on reversing those chronic pain changes that have affected the brain. Because when the brain is changed like that, we get a hypersensitivity of the nervous system. This is called central sensitization. I know I talk fast. You can slow me down. So central sensitization causes a hypersensitivity of the nervous system. This is why I added in the empowered relief class to my program. This is all focused on calming the nervous system down. Because if that nervous system is in this hypersensitized state, it's in fight or flight. It's focused on survival. It's not going to allow you to heal a soft tissue. So we have to calm the nervous system. We have to reverse these chronic pain changes. Then your body's in an optimal state to be able to actually heal the soft tissue injury, which was the thing in the first place. So it is essential that we do these things. If you don't calm the nervous system, if you don't reverse the chronic pain changes in your brain, you're not going to get rid of your tennis elbow. You know, it's really, really important. So I wanted to give you specific questions that you could maybe ask your physical therapist, your physiotherapist, whoever you're seeing for tennis elbow, and ask them, you know, have you assessed my nerves, or can you assess my nerves, and tell me what you find. And, you know, ask them to do that, you know, and any experienced therapist can do that for you. And then talk through the findings with them and say, well, how are we going to address this? And maybe bring up the chronic pain portion. You know, if you've suffered for longer than 3 months, you have chronic pain by the very definition. How are we going to address the chronic pain changes? Ask these questions, because if they're not being addressed, if all that you are getting for treatment is focused on your elbow and you've had pain for 3 months or longer, you're going to struggle. So ask these questions. You know, let's start. But, you know, think of yourself as a partner. It's your elbow. You need to be asking these questions. We need to be ensuring that every single part of this is addressed and there's nothing missing. So I hope that helps. Was it maybe a little bit mind-blowing? I love talking about this stuff, you can probably tell. If you have questions, don't hesitate to pop them down in the chat. I've got a challenge coming up this month. It's September 2024, the filming of this video. So I do have a challenge coming up at some point this month. If you want to join that, details will be coming soon. Please feel free to join that. We are going to be focused on pain relief. So we're going to be focusing on doing the most effective things to get you some pain relief. And yeah, I'd love you to join me. So I hope to see you soon. Ask questions and take care. Bye.